Well, howdy folks, and welcome to Mower Mike's Kitchen. Yeah, who would have thought I don't live in a shop? Let me tell you what's going on, folks. We are going through our spring allergy season in Texas. It is the most beautiful weather all year, but I just feel like absolute crap because of allergies. And I've struggled with allergies my whole life, and I've really uncovered something I just wanted to share. Now, first of all, when you have allergies, what is going on? You're getting stuff in your nose and it's triggering a histamine response. Histamine is a chemical reaction in your body that feeds all your cells more and more blood, which causes swelling. And that's where you get all the wheezing, the coughing, the headaches and everything. It's just because those blood vessels are getting swollen. So everything you take to decrease that medical wise, which you go to CVS, you spend hundreds of dollars. I've tried it all, folks. So, you know, the Nasacort, the Benadryl, the Theraflu, the Zyrtec, the Neti Pot, the whole 9 yards. Some of it kind of works, some of it doesn't. But what I've really noticed is that anything that really works, like Sudafed, it just raises my heart rate to the point where I get a lot of anxiety. So what I went looking for was something anti-allergy relief to eat, and it just wasn't anything out there. So I did a lot of research on which foods lower your histamine level, and it is absolutely fascinating because there's a lot of healthy foods that raise your histamine level. So what we're gonna do today, I've got some very antihistamine ingredients that we're gonna make a stew of or a soup, whatever you wanna call it. And folks, this actually works. I've got tons of relief from this. I had a severe sinus infection and nothing was working. And I ate this for a week and it really immediately clears you up. So I just wanted to share it. Now, first let's talk ingredients. You know, there's a lot of ingredients that you think are good for you. Let's say chili, that are actually very high histamine triggering foods because they're loaded with histamine. So chili, anything in the nightshade family, think tomatoes, even like mushrooms are triggering histamine levels. So what I've got here are the lowest level antihistamine foods we've got. Think antihistamine, think of root vegetables. So I've got, you know, radishes are perfect for antihistamine. Anything in the onion family. Leafy greens are great. Broccoli is great. And then we've got the secret ingredients. What I've got here is a mass amount of ginger and massive amounts of garlic, folks. And then we've got a lean meat like a chicken. So I'm gonna show you how I throw this together. I did not get this from a recipe. I just started cooking and it actually worked and it's delicious. So the first thing we're gonna do is you wanna boil that chicken. We're gonna boil the chicken and then we're just gonna keep that stock and it's gonna be a one pot meal, so it's super simple. So what I got here is a chicken. We're just gonna throw the whole thing in there. I'm a big boy, so I like lots of protein. So one large chicken will be the starting point for this soup. You really don't wanna use anything real fatty. I'd stay away from any type of red meats here. You want a leaner meat because you're trying to fight that inflammation. And you know, I love beef, but beef does cause more inflammation. So we're doing anti-inflammation with that. All right, so I'm gonna throw this in the pot. We're gonna use crazy water. I do enjoy using a better water because you're gonna boil this water down. And so if you have something with minerals in it, I think it just makes it better. So let's throw it in the pot. We're gonna let it sit in there probably a couple hours and then I'm gonna come back. We're just gonna hit the high points, folks. So you know what you're doing and then we're gonna eat. So with that, stay with me, let's have some fun. All right, we're about 2.5 hours in on the chicken. And what you'll notice, you can tell it's done when it's not totally falling apart, but you can see it's super loose. Like you see, I cooked it a little bit too long. What we're gonna do next, you've gotta pull that chicken out because we're gonna have to shred the chicken to get max protein load. So go ahead and pull it out. I think this will be ready about 2 hours. And when you pull it out, it's gonna be super hot. So don't put your hand straight into it and start peeling it apart. Just go ahead and pull it out and then we're gonna separate the bones from the chicken and put it back in the pot. Now, whatever you do, don't throw out the broth because that's gonna be the base of our soup. So go ahead, set that chicken aside for about an hour or so, and then we're gonna come right back. All right, folks, we're back at the stove. The chicken has gone ahead and cooled off quite a bit. You don't want it cold, but you want it to cool off so you don't burn your hands. And you just go through and very simply, you pick the bones out of the chicken. You just break it up with your hands. It's not rocket science. What is always fun about this process is you always get a few extra snacks. The dogs get snacks, and we're just trying to get the chicken back into the pot without the bones. Now, what makes this such a cool dish for a soup is you don't need any broth because we just made chicken broth, which is really, really good for allergies and rehydration to get all the good stuff back in you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just keep picking away chicken, try to keep the bones out of it. And one hint, I do put all the innards of the chicken in here, but I've had some bad luck with the chicken neck because there's so many bones in it. That is the one part of the chicken I would not boil. All right, so let me load up this pot with tasty chicken and then we'll go to the next step. Stay with me. All right, we got our chicken picked off the bone. Those are just the bones. Let's go ahead and start adding the vegetables. Now, what we got here are some radishes. I like to put whole radishes into my soup. Usually I like, 4 times this many, but this is how many we got. What's really cool about radishes, I've started making radishes in my soup, is that when you boil them down, they actually become like little potatoes, and they're freaking delicious in soup, and they don't have the carbs, and they digest better than potatoes. So I'd suggest load up your soup with radishes, and radishes are part of the onion family. So let's go ahead and put their sister in there. We're gonna put the onion, again, another low inflammation vegetable, onions. And then of course, broccoli. I mean, broccoli is good for everybody. We're gonna go ahead and put a bunch of broccoli in there. And then next, let's come over and look at the secret ingredients. All right, now let's get crazy and put some octane in the soup. What we're looking at here, first of all, garlic. Now, typically for any type of dish, you'd put, a little bit of garlic like that. No, what I'm putting in is a whole plate full of garlic. There's probably 30 to 40 cloves in there. You really want a lot of garlic to clear out your nose. And what I like, because I hate peeling garlic, I think this is the best type because it comes in these little sealed packages and it's still nice and moist. You can get this garlic on Amazon, which I'll put a link down below, but it looks a little more dried out. So we're gonna put all this garlic in there. I think I put 4 or 5 of these bags. So you probably get about 10 to 12 cloves of garlic. And you can't cut it up, but I like leaving it whole because once it boils down, you get that little smushy garlic in your mouth and it just will light you up with flavor. Also, an Italian told me one time, if you're really stopped up, just go ahead and take a few of these and eat it raw, just like that. You are good to go. All right, so we got our garlic. Next, let's talk ginger. Ginger is another ingredient. Typically, a chef would put like that much ginger in the soup. No, what we want is, let's see, I typically like that much ginger. We're gonna put a ton of freaking ginger in the soup. This ginger is what's going to clear your head and really light it up. And it's gonna be the main flavor profile of the soup. Now with ginger, it is fairly strong, even after you boil it down. So I want you to go ahead and cut the ginger into tiny, smaller pieces, like so, almost like an onion. So we're essentially putting 2 to 3 onions worth of just raw ginger. I suggest doing ginger just like this. Keep it raw because it's just that much more powerful. When you get the bag ginger and the different types of ginger, there's so many things mixed in there. There's a lot of sugar in those little ginger snap chews and everything. So let's just do it raw. I did see on Amazon you can actually buy raw ginger like this, which is pretty cool. I'll put a link down below. But where I go to my little local organic food store, and they have ginger for $2 a pound. So that's a lot of ginger. So I'm gonna cut that little piece off and then we're gonna add this piece in. So, all right, we are gonna have our fill of ginger and garlic in the soup. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna chop this up and then we're gonna throw it in and finish with the ingredients. This is a super easy recipe. Look at Murphy, he's over there waiting for it. All right, let's go ahead and add some more stuff to it. Folks, just so you see, I am not messing around. That is a lot of ginger. That is not onion there. So we're gonna go ahead and add all this raw ginger into your soup. Folks, trust me, this is gonna clear up whatever ails you. This is also good for your belly too, because ginger is good for the belly. So you're gonna clear your nose and clear your guts at the same time with garlic. Wait, folks, that is a lot of garlic. We're just going all in there. And feel free to add more, but I think this is a minimum of what you need. And also, I like adding kale in my stuff. You know, I like kale. It kind of boils down. It gives the soup a little bit of flavor. You know, kale's pretty healthy for you. So at this point, you'll see your soup is getting pretty full. So what I suggest is go ahead and top it off with maybe a little more water and let it boil for a minute. And then we're gonna go to our spices. Stay with me. All right, we are boiling. The house is smelling like ginger and garlic. That looks not great, but trust me, it's gonna work out. Stay with me. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna do our seasoning. Now, typically for any type of stew, I am heavy into the Creole, to the chili powder. Get me a little Cajun two-step, a little Creole seasoning in there. I always do pepper. But folks, I tell you what, the majority of these seasonings are gonna cause you additional inflammation. I know it sucks, but trust me, all these have chili powder in them, which are gonna inflame you. Even black pepper is gonna inflame you. Soy is gonna inflame you, especially if you go back here. Let's see. Dairy, all dairy is gonna inflame you. Don't put cheese in this soup. You know, typically back in the day when I would have a little allergy issue, I'd hit me a little Theraflu and then a hot toddy, maybe with some Knob Creek, a little whiskey, a little lemon juice. But folks, you're just lying to yourself. It's just an excuse to drink whiskey. It does not work. If anything, alcohol will inflame you. So, what do we put in the soup for flavor? We've already put a ridiculous amount of ginger and garlic in there, so actually it's gonna be tasting pretty good. The only thing I add in my soup is a really good salt. So what here, we got yourself ancient fine sea salt, so the really old salt, and just add a bunch of salt. We're gonna do the big one. And I know everybody wants to add more stuff, but folks, the more stuff you add in here that's not specific to antihistamine, the more it's gonna blow your head up. And if your head is already hurting, trust me, just add some salt and then we can taste it because that ginger is gonna light you up. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna let it boil for, I don't know, probably a couple hours and let these vegetables soften up. And then folks, we are done. So stay with me and hope you're getting hungry. All right, kids, we are getting close. The wife says the whole house smells like ginger. To me, it smells like Christmas trees. I think it smells great. So we've been boiling it for about 2.5 hours with the vegetables on it, and I think it's about ready. Now, a telltale sign of when it is ready, what I like to do is look at that. Look at the radishes. What you're gonna notice on the radishes is something pretty wild. As you see right there, once they lose their color, that's when you know that soup is done, because that's when that radish gets nice and soft like a potato. Now, you don't want to go too long, like over 3 hours, because then everything just turns to mush. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and pull it off the stove, and I'm gonna do a fancy plating wrap up. So stay with me. All right, look at that, folks. Dinner is served. This looks so good. You talk about a high protein, healthy meal. Get you some of that. Look at that. I mean, it looks bad, folks. I ain't gonna lie. It doesn't look great, but it tastes really damn good. It's pretty hot, but let me do a little. Oh, wow. You can really taste that pound of ginger in there. It really lights up that soup. It is delicious. Now, folks, I know there's a lot of doubts when it comes to this soup, but I tell you what, this soup saved me. About a couple weeks ago, I had a viral sinus infection that moved to a bacterial infection, and nothing really helped me. And so I came up with this recipe on my own. You're not gonna find it anywhere, but it is the only thing that really cleared me up when medicines wouldn't do it. So give it a shot. If anything, it's just gonna make you feel really, really good. And it's make the house smell good too. All right, so now let's talk about what you eat your soup with. Personally, if you're really, really struggling right now with nasal pressure and inflammation, I'd suggest you just eat the soup with nothing else, because really any type of carb you're gonna put with it is it's gonna cause a little bit of inflammation. But if you have to have a carb, personally, I would go with some organic rice. I've got this really cool little rice cooker off Amazon. I'll put a link down below. You can it's really, really good on rice, and rice has a little bit of a protein in it. Or, I'm a big fan of purple potatoes. Go ahead and get you some purple potatoes. Those are always good. But folks, I really think just the soup alone is really, really good. Now, some of the other things I do to keep me healthy, I always hit the Jocko creatine, the Jocko greens. Element is always a good one. Just some stuff I do pretty much every day. I'm not sponsored or anything by them, but I just think they're really good products. So with that, I'm gonna stop rambling. This is not a cooking channel. I promise we have got a lot of mower videos lined up for the spring. Just wanted to give y'all a little bit of relief if you just sneezing and coughing and just feel like crap like I do a lot in the spring. So with that, Mower Mike's out. Catch you next time.